What is going on, everybody? Back at it again with another one. And I know you're asking, why do you got all these books in front of you? Well, today we are going to do some comic book omnibus 101. We're going to lead mainly towards the omnibus for anybody trying to get into an omnibus or anybody just starting into comics. You know, what's a OHC? What's omnibus versus regular hardcover or trade paperback or comic? You know, what is an omnibus? Where do I buy them? Where do I get them from? How do I know if it's an omnibus? Who do I jump into? Where do I jump into? How do I start? Where do I, you know, all these little questions we are going to go over. So if you're all new into comic books or you're trying to jump into omnibuses and just trying to learn some slang terms like OHC or HC for that matter, or DM, all that stuff we're going to talk about. So let's go.
And I come back, niggas tryna flex. Tell me that I'm lost, I'm not in the back though. Don't even wanna check.
Alright guys, back at it again. Like I said, we are going to talk about how to get into omnibuses, what is an omnibus. Let's start with the basics. What's a comic book? Obviously a comic book is just a short story that's going to lead into another short story that's going to lead into another short story that turns into a series, right? Or a run that will eventually turn into a trade paperback. So you can see this is a trade paperback versus a comic book. They are the same size. Right here you can see the only difference is it's a little bit thicker. Why? Because it's collecting more of the run. So once it makes a run, it turns into a trade paperback, or it will turn into a hardcover. A hardcover has a DJ on it or DC on it, whatever you want to call it, dust jacket or dust cover. That's what those terms mean. So if you see them, now you know. So this is your dust jacket or dust cover. It does not come on trade paperbacks, obviously, because it's a trade paperback versus a hardcover. Now hardcovers usually have something on it. This one does. Only thing is it's just imprinted into it. Same with the spine. So you're going to see that. The other thing you're going to know is when they say flaps, they're talking about this. This is your flap right here. It flaps into the book. And then you will see your spine, the back of the cover, the front of the cover. And then you will see your eye, which you're not really going to see too much into this, but it's going to be right here in your spine and how it is binded together. What you won't see into here, it really won't make a difference in like gutter loss into smaller books like this, or whether it stays open or closed. And then you're going to get into your OHC, which is called your oversized hardcover, which, as you can see the difference here, obviously it's going to be a lot bigger. The print's going to be bigger and everything. So, if you're new into Harley Quinn, this is a great jumping on point into Harley Quinn. I always recommend this story because I love this story. It is under the black label of DC. This is not going to be an omnibus format because unless they make another story and it keeps going, and then it's big enough to turn into omnibus. Now there is mini omnibuses, which is, I believe, only Deadpool has. But this is a great jumping on origin story for Harley Quinn. If you don't know her story or you just want to know more about Harley Quinn, this is Harleen. It is a great, great book, and it's still up for print. And then you will see OOP, which is out of print, which these books do go out of print pretty easy. Once they go out of print, they become... I wouldn't say they all become whales, but some of them become whales, like Superman. That's a Superman, which can turn into from a, you know, whatever the cover price is. So let's look at the cover price on the back of this one. This is a DC omnibus. DC is known for their thicker than a Snicker omnibuses, as you see why. DC versus Marvel. Not saying that Marvel don't have some thick omnibuses, but DC knows how to hold the line for thick omnibuses. So the back of this one does say $150 cover price. So when it's out of print, sometimes they'll go for $500-600. Now they do reprints, because I think this is the 4th or 5th reprint. The first original omnibus of this didn't have the fold out page where Superman dies. I think they did that in the 2nd or 3rd reprint. This is the latest reprint right here, so a lot of people did upgrade to the newer reprint because it had the fold-out page, and then they did change the dust jacket too, so you have the black dust jacket with the bleeding red S. But like I said, it could go up to $500-$600. But now if they do a reprint, you're right back down to whatever the price is you can get it for. So this one's $150. You can get it for probably like $70-$80. So if you paid $500 for that book, now it's only worth $80 once it hits the reprint. Not saying that once it goes out it won't be worth that much again, because like I said, as soon as they go out of print, people like to sell them for sky high. So you do have your DC. This is a DC omnibus. Now DC is going to say omnibus usually right here on the bottom or somewhere right here. DC logo is always on the bottom, where your Marvel is always on top. Oh, that's one thing you will know, is that DC is usually, boom, right here. Same with Vertigo. DC Vertigo is going to be down here. Marvel's always going to be on top. So they do have the dust jackets or dust covers on these. Boom, which you'll get like a wraparound hardcover. You don't always get a wraparound hardcover, but you do on some of them. So there you go. And then the spines are not always going to be the same. Some of them just have pictures versus some of them who give information about the writer. So that is, now Omnibus is a collected series of the whole run, or author's run. So it's going to be bigger and thicker than a original hardcover, not this one, the other ones, than original hardcover or a oversized hardcover. So now there is differences between the Marvel. Notice Marvel, like I said, Marvel will say Omnibus here, where it just says Marvel here, so you'll know. Now this is where you get into double dipping, because if you buy just an oversized hardcover like this, and you don't buy an omnibus format, and then you start buying an omnibus format, where you see this is volume 1, this is the Daniel Way, which collects 1 through 12 Deadpool, and then Thunderbolts number 130 through 131 of Daniel Way. So here you got Daniel Way number 1 and 2 omnibuses right here. So here you'll probably have like 7 or 8 of them. So it's better to collect than these, but that's also up to you, where the price is a lot different. This is a $40 book, where this one is a $100 book. And you only have to buy 2 of these, where you got to buy like 8 of those. So that is your boom boom right there, how you know if it's a Marvel versus a hardcover. So there is some like X-Men. X-Men gets really broad on all their omnibuses, but there's like the Cyclops wedding. That one's slick like the omnibus, but it's not an omnibus. It just says Marvel there. So why it's not an omnibus when it looks like an omnibus, the same size as omnibus? It's not an omnibus. So if you're collecting just omnibus, hopefully they'll turn that into an omnibus, and then you can buy it. So, but yeah, that's why this is double dipping. So you don't want to double dip, because this is in this. So if you're going to collect one or the other, which I'll probably do this as a giveaway, the same with Batgirl. I have a Batgirl hardcover, not an omnibus format. So there's your Daniel Way Deadpool. And then, like I said, I got Batgirl up here too, because Batgirl is right here. So you can see they have the same hardcover, or they have the same cover. They both have dust jackets. Now the back is going to be different. And of course, you're going to be collecting a lot more of this one than you would of this one, because you see the difference in thickness. So, and this one is bigger. So this is not oversized. This is just an original hardcover, and it is a volume 1 for this. So I'll probably be doing a giveaway for this one too. Same with the Deadpool, because I don't need them. Obviously, I got the omnibuses, so those will be giveaways for somebody who hopefully goes to somebody who's thinking about getting into comics or don't know where to start. This will be good for Batgirl, and then you'll know if you want to keep collecting or even buy this omnibus. So as you can see, there's the dust jacket dust cover here. Boom boom. So like I said, Annihilation. This is Annihilation. So this one is originally $125. So with these cover prices, if you go to your local comic book store, LCS, or if you go to like Barnes and Noble, you're going to be paying cover price. Now if you go to online and you go to Amazon, if they're new, they're probably going to be that good of a deal. If they're older, if you can still find them, they're usually fairly good deal, but you'll probably want to go to like Organic Price Books and Stock Trades, cheap graphic novels, places like that, where you can get a better deal, because usually they're, you know, close to 60% off versus going to your local comic book store, going to, like I said, Barnes & Noble, a big bookstore. So you'll be paying a lot more there versus here, where you could probably buy 2 books for the same price you paid for the one. So you'll want to go there. Another thing is, that's where you get into the DMs. You'll see DM, which is direct market covers, or they have the original covers now. I'll put up some different covers here, like Thor by Jason Aaron. There's 2 different direct market covers. There's this one, and then there's this one, and then there's the original cover. Now, this original cover you can buy at Barnes & Noble, you can buy at your local comic book store, but you are going to be paying cover price for that original, where you could go to Organic Price Books and Stock Trades or whatever and get it for, you know, that 60% off. Not to mention, you get to the DM, where they only sell the direct, which is direct market. They only sell those, or you can only buy those from your Organic Price Books and Stock Trades, places like that sell these. So you'll be able to choose the different covers, like this direct market, or the original cover. So you get a choice, versus it's more of just a push to be able to buy from them versus going to other places. So you get to pick covers. Like that one does have 2 different covers, direct market covers. Not all of them do. Some only have one direct market cover, one original cover. Where I believe some even only have 1 cover. So you don't really get a choice. So that is that. And then here's, like I said, another oversized hardcover. This one is Joker and Harley. But like I said, that's how you get into your omnibuses. Now, another big thing is, too, when it comes to, let's go Thor. We're already going with Thor. There's Thor by Jason Aaron, there's Thor by Matt Fraction. So who do I jump into? Where do I jump? There's Bronze Age, Silver Age, Gold Age, Modern. So where do you want to start? That's a big thing. So pay attention, because if you're just jumping into somebody and you buy Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane, you know, it's going to be an older book. But if you're on a modern age, you got to pay attention to authors. So authors have big plays into this. So authors are like one of the things you really want to know about jumping into this game, because if you're just going to go off a character and you have no idea where to start, you're going to want to learn the authors, you know, if it's modern, if it's silver, if it's Bronze Age. Like I said, because you could just buy one and you have no, like Spider-Man Clone Saga, for example. So there's 4 books into that, even though you're only going to see a volume 1 and a volume 2. Like I was saying, you got the Clone Saga, which is going to tell you 1 and 2, and then you got the Ben Reilly, which is going to be 1 and 2. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, really. So Ben Reilly comes after the Clone Saga. So you're going to want to know that versus, you know, what Spider-Man by JMS, which has a volume 1 and a volume 2. So you need to know your authors. You need to know your Bronze Age, Silver Age, Gold Age, your Modern. Because if you're looking for just modern and you end up grabbing a Spider-Man book, let's say you say, oh, I see ASM, Amazing Spider-Man, and I want this one, and I buy it, and it's a Gold Age. It's not a new one. It's not the Ultimate Spider-Man or stuff like that. So you really need to pay attention to the authors. That is probably the biggest thing, is the authors, and then the covers would come next, whether you want the direct market or not. But your authors is a big point of if it's going to go into that Bronze Age, Gold Age, or if it's going to be modern. So you got to pay attention to your authors, pay attention to the cover prices, pay attention to if it's a reprint. Like I said, that Superman has 5 reprints, so pay attention to the reprints. Check in Stock Trades, check Organic Price Books, check cheap graphic novels, check Amazon if none of them got it. Usually Amazon does do sales. And then also you can check Target. Target does buy 2 get 1 free. Amazon does buy 2 get 1 free. But these, they do have, sometimes these, it's not always worth it. So make sure you compare prices before you just see that buy 2 get 1 free. And go check like Organic Price Books and see what their deals are, because sometimes they have deals that are on top of the deals that they already have. So you want to make sure you're not spending just because you see buy two get one free, you're not spending more. Because there is a chance that you will spend more, especially on Amazon, because if it's a new book just coming out, Amazon will not put a cheaper price on it. You know, it'll be $125 cover price, and you'll get it for $119, where you can go here and buy it for $70 or $80. So make sure you pay attention to that. But authors, DM, like I said, you can only buy at places like that, which is your direct market covers. So if you want a different cover, check there, and then you know your difference between your Marvel Omnibus, your DC Omnibus, whether this is Marvel here, if it's just a Marvel straight down like that Deadpool one was, whether you're double dipping. This is just all stuff to pay attention to. So there you go. I hope I put the majority of it out there for you. That way you know if you're just getting into this game. It's an expensive hobby, very expensive hobby. Another YouTuber that you want to check out if you don't know for a jumping on point. If you have a favorite character and you're looking for a jump on point, you'd want to check out Near Mint Condition. If you don't know who that is, Omar. He is really, really good at letting newer people know where to jump on to certain characters, especially if it's a modern, you want to jump on the modern, or you want to start at the beginning. He's very good at, he knows his stories, he knows his books, so he's one person that you definitely want to check out if you need a jumping on point to a certain character. But now you know the overall of everything, so if you don't know, now you know, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.